it's Zadie, welcome to Flytte Kartina. Boy, do I have a lot to tell you about this movie. For those of you who didn't read the title and just clicked on my video, that's great, thank you so much. However, I will be talking about The House with the Clock in Its Walls, which is starring Jack Black and Cate Blanchett. I'm gonna go over the rating and why it was rated that way. I'll do my own rating system, and then afterward I'll tell you a little bit of my thoughts on this film. There's not gonna be a lot of stuff to talk about, or maybe there is. You'll have to wait to find out. So we have a whopper of a rating for PG, actually. It's a lot of words for a PG rating. I'm not gonna say all of them, but here it is down at the bottom of the screen. Let's talk about the thematic elements, including sorcery. So they include the sorcery part in this because, well, it has to do with the thematic elements and it's in the trailer. So they're like, okay, this is safe, it's not a spoiler, let's put it in the rating and make this rating explanation even longer. So the thematic elements including sorcery. This guy, Jack Black, is a warlock. He teaches his nephew to be a warlock, and basically the two of them are all gung-ho and stuff, and there's a lot of sorcery involved. I'm not really sure how to explain this other than the fact that there is sorcery in there. Let's talk about the some action part. Some action is actually used in a lot of different action films that I've seen over the past year and a half of being on this YouTube channel. Most of the time it's just to say to the audience like, hey, you're getting into a little bit of action scenes. It's not like a war scene, but there's some action in it, so I'm gonna move on from there and go on to scary images, which were a lot of the movie. In the beginning half of the trailer, this is played off as a kid's movie, and it's like really fun and happy and stuff, and you know, there's playful music, and there's a clock, and a lot of clocks, and it's like super cool, and this kid's just like, okay, this is fine, this is normal.
You'll see, it's quite different here.
And then the second half of the trailer really gives way to actually what this movie is about. If you combine Goosebumps, Goonies, and Frankenweenie all together into one, that's kind of what this movie is in terms of scary images.
Told Louis everything?
Well, not everything.
I wasn't scared, I was just really disturbed throughout the entire thing. They were just like really creepy images and like all these like dolls, and then there are these pumpkins, and I'm just like, this is not a kid's movie. The scary images take up about 89% of this movie, and the rest of it is not scary images, it's just a kid at a school. I say to hold off on bringing your 7-year-old kid, even your 13-year-old, they're gonna be seriously freaked out. Because me, an adult, was freaked out during this movie. I was like, this is not cool for a kid's movie. I don't know how they got this greenlit. We're gonna go on to the rude humor and language, and this is kind of self-explanatory, and it's a kid's movie-ish. It's PG, so they can't like use innuendos as they would in a PG-13 movie. There's a passionate kissing scene, and it's kind of weird because it's between this guy and a girl that don't really look normal. That's all I can say without spoiling everything and getting a bunch of comments down below saying, you spoiled the movie for me. I'm like, sorry. The language wasn't all that bad. I found one word that was just kind of like really pronounced and prominent, and the rest of it was just kind of like exclamations of, oh my goodness, wow, sort of ideas. So I'm gonna pull up the frequency chart to end this uncomfortable segment of the video. On a scale of 1 to 10, how frequent were these elements explained in this film? The MPAA did a pretty good job of explaining the rating of this film and why it was rated PG instead of PG-13, and explaining what you're getting into when you're going in to see the movie, but the frequency of this would probably have to be an 8 or 9. The scary images alone gave it like 3 extra points. If it made sense to you, great. If it didn't make sense to you, here's my magical scale of movies to, you know, tell you on a scale of Steamboat Willie to Deadpool how appropriate this is for children, younger audiences, whatever you want to call them. And so on the magical scale of movies, I'm gonna rate The House with the Clock in Its Walls as a 7, which is Iron Man. If you understand the elements in Iron Man, you may be able to understand the elements in The House with the Clock in Its Walls. Don't like rely on this system, but like, you know, if you wanted to take your kids to Iron Man, that's great. Just, you know, there's stuff in Iron Man that you may not want your 6-year-old to see. Same with this movie. You might not want your 13-year-old to see a bunch of these pumpkins just get blown up. Now that we've got sort of the logistical stuff over, I'm gonna move on to what I did and did not like about this movie. What I did like about this movie is Jack Black and Cate Blanchett's banter between the two of them. The two are very talented. They are also very funny. They played off of each other really well when I was introduced to them, and then they played really well together as the movie went along. I kind of liked some of the stuff in the house. There's a stained glass window that was pretty cool, and then maybe a couple of other things. Small pieces. That's all that I liked about the movie. Honestly, this was one of the most crazy and like least entertaining film that I have seen this year. That may be a lie, but at the same time, it just was so crazy. If you abandon all all logic and reason and actually tried to forget analyzing the plot, then you might have fun with the fun colors and all of the little dolls and stuff, and this kid trying to make friends and stuff. It kind of reminded me of A Wrinkle in Time. House with the Clock in Its Walls and Wrinkle in Time. They're basically the same amount of confusing. In The House with the Clock in Its Walls, there were so many plot lines that I was trying to connect, and they didn't connect very well. They were just all really separate in the like 3 different genres trying to combine, but they were all the wrong parts of the genre. Anyways, that's all I have to say to you guys. I really am trying to contain myself and not release any spoilers. But if you have a free afternoon and you want to go see this movie, go ahead. I'm not stopping you. Physically, I cannot because I would probably get sued by multiple people. But I will warn you, what I thought of it was not a good investment in my money and time. So that is all I have for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great random Thursday. I'll see you on the other side of the screen. Bye!